In this video, you're going to learn how to overcome and manage challenges as an athlete. Hey there, I'm Eli Straw, mental performance coach and the founder of SuccessStartsWithin.com. Now, challenges sometimes don't seem like the best thing to happen to you as an athlete. But in all reality, if you learn how to manage these challenges and overcome them in a positive way, it's actually going to have a very positive impact on your mindset and on your game. Now, there are many kinds of challenges that you're going to face as an athlete. Some of them might be not making a team. Another one might be not being a starter. You may have to fight and battle for your starting position. Another challenge you might be facing is performing poorly in games recently. There are so many different kinds of challenges that you can face. But the most important thing is how these challenges can mold and shape you in a positive way if you learn how to manage them in a positive way. And there are four main ways that overcoming challenges and facing them in a good way is actually going to help you as an athlete. Number one is that it's going to build your mental toughness. The more that you are faced with challenges and you push through, the stronger your mindset is going to become. Another benefit is going to be an increase in your confidence. The more you face challenges and you see yourself overcome them, that's going to build this belief and the trust you have in yourself to be able to manage challenges no matter what. So that's going to build that self-confidence. Number three is improved self-awareness. Self-awareness means that you understand yourself. You understand your thoughts, your feelings. You understand why you behave a certain way, why you feel anxious going into a game when maybe another game you feel confident. And self-awareness is a very important piece to developing as an athlete. And the more challenges you're faced with, the more you're forced to understand yourself, because you can't face challenges if you don't understand the way that that challenge is making you feel and then the thoughts that are driving those feelings in the first place. So by facing challenges, you are forced to understand yourself better. And by understanding yourself better, you are increasing your self-awareness, which is going to help you over the long run. And number four is that it's going to help you improve. And with this one, we're really focused on your physical skills. Because in order for you to overcome the challenge of battling for a starting position, let's say, you're going to have to be better than the other person. You're going to have to be better than your competitor who's competing with you for that starting role. So that's going to force you to improve. If you don't make a team, then during the offseason, you are going to be forced to improve in order for you to make the team the following year or to make another team. So one of the best things about challenges is that they can be the catalyst for true growth for you as an athlete. Now, saying all that does not make challenges any easier to deal with, because just as challenges can mold you in a positive way, they can also mold you in a negative way if you allow the challenge to tear you down. That's why it's important for you to have some tips that you can use to manage challenges as an athlete. Tip number one is to recognize the challenge as a teacher. This really goes off the idea that you have to reframe the challenge and see it as something positive. You know, if you are faced with having to battle for your starting position, and I use that example because that's an example almost every athlete can relate to. If you are faced with that challenge, then you need to recognize this as a teacher, an opportunity to learn more about your game, learn more about yourself, and to grow. If you see this challenge as unfair, if you see it just in any negative light, number one, that's going to actually lower your chances of overcoming that challenge, right? You're probably not going to beat out that other person because you are viewing it in a negative way. But also you are limiting your own true growth. So the first tip is you want to make sure that you look at that challenge and you recognize it as a teacher. Tip two is you want to step back and make yourself a plan. Whether you are battling for a starting position, whether you didn't make the team, whether you are playing very badly recently, no matter what challenge you're faced with, whether it's an injury, for example, no matter what challenge you're faced with, you need to have a plan of action that's going to help you overcome that challenge. The reason you want to take a step back is because a lot of times when we are first faced with challenges as an athlete, our immediate response is going to be something negative. If it's an injury, you're going to be upset and feel like it's unfair. You know, you might also feel like it's unfair if you are faced with a challenge for your starting position. If you don't make the team, you might start to second guess whether you want to play or not. But by taking a step back and really examining the situation, you can make a clear plan of action that's going to help you overcome that challenge. This plan can involve a training plan. This plan can involve a rehabilitation plan if you're injured. This plan can involve some mental training if you're really struggling in games recently and you've identified that it's probably something mental holding you back. But you need a plan of action, a clear strategy that you're going to use to overcome that challenge. So that's tip number two. Tip number three is you want to keep pushing. As you are working to overcome this challenge as an athlete, you are going to be faced with even more challenges. You're going to be faced with resistance. You're going to be faced with setbacks. What you have to do is keep pushing forward. And that takes us into tip number 4, which is to focus on your goal. As you are working to overcome the challenge, don't focus on the fact that you are faced with this challenge. Once you recognize it as a teacher, once you create yourself a plan, now it's time to just keep working forward, keep pushing, and focus on that end goal. Focus on what you want to have happen. If you are injured right now, focus on the goal of getting back out there on the field or court. If you are battling for a starting position, focus on the goal of being a starter and a high producer on your team. If you didn't make a team, focus on the goal of making a team next time. The more that you hold on to that end goal, the more that's going to motivate you and actually help you push forward. The more you focus on the fact that you're faced with this challenge, the more likely you are to feel frustrated, to feel like it's unfair, and to have more of a negative perspective. So those are 4 tips that you can use as an athlete to manage challenges that you're faced with. You want to make sure that you recognize the challenge as a teacher. You want to step back and make yourself a plan of action. You want to keep pushing no matter what happens, and you want to always focus on that end goal. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below. And I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already. I put out new videos each day on sports psychology and mental training. Thank you for watching, and I wish you the best of success in all that you do.